Nightcrawler was one of the most adorable X-Men characters, known for his blue skin, teleportation powers, and strong faith. Kurt always brought hope and joy, even in the most sad times. His death in the Second Coming storyline hit fans deeply. During a war between mutants and the villain Bastion, Hope Summers was in great danger. Bastion wanted to kill Hope because she was believed to be the one who could save all mutants. Nightcrawler knew the risks, but refused to stand aside. When Bastion attacked, Kurt teleported right between the villain and Hope. In the middle of teleporting, Bastion stabbed him through the chest. Kurt sacrificed his life to save Hope, protecting her with everything he had. His last words, "I believe in her," showed his faith was stronger than ever. His death was not just brave, it was full of hope for the future. Losing Nightcrawler was heartbreaking for the X-Men and fans alike. He was more than just a fighter. He was the heartbeat of the team. Cyclops was once the fearless leader of the X-Men, but his death was both tragic and misunderstood. During the Death of X storyline, the Terrigen Mist, the substance that gives Inhumans their powers, started killing mutants. Cyclops stood up to the Inhumans, determined to save the mutants. But here's the twist. He died early on, poisoned by the mist, and what people saw later was just a psychic projection created by Emma Frost. The world thought Cyclops had declared war, but in reality, he had been dead for most of the conflict. His actual death wasn't heroic in battle. It was slow, painful, and sad. To many mutants, he died a hero. To others, he was a villain. That confusion made his death even worse. Professor Charles Xavier was the founder of the X-Men. He believed that humans and mutants could live together in peace. He trained young mutants to control their powers and fight for a better world. One of his first and most trusted students was Scott Summers, also known as Cyclops. In the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline, a powerful cosmic force called the Phoenix Force returned to Earth. It bonded with Cyclops, giving him godlike power. At first, Cyclops tried to use this power for good, but over time, the Phoenix began to control him. He changed. He became colder, more dangerous, and started believing he could force peace through power. Professor X saw the danger. He stepped in to stop Cyclops and begged him to fight the Phoenix inside him. But Cyclops was too far away from controlling his powers. In a heartbreaking moment, Cyclops, now fully taken over by the Phoenix, killed Professor X with a massive energy blast. The death was shocking and emotional. Charles Xavier was not just another hero, he was the heart of the X-Men. He had spent his life trying to create unity. Dying at the hands of his own student made it feel deeply personal and tragic. This wasn't just the death of a leader, it was the death of a dream, the dream of peaceful coexistence between mutants and humans. It left a permanent scar on the X-Men and changed Cyclops forever. Vision's death in Avengers Disassembled wasn't just tragic, it kicked off one of the darkest days in Avengers history. Controlled by a mind-breaking force, thanks to Scarlet Witch's reality-warping powers, Vision suddenly crashed a Quinjet into Avengers Mansion. He then released a group of killer robots called Ultron drones, attacking his own team. In the chaos, Vision begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. He was torn apart by She-Hulk, who lost control of her rage. Vision wasn't just a machine. He had emotions, relationships, and even love. Watching him beg for mercy before being destroyed by a teammate was brutal and shocking. Colossus died not in battle, but from compassion. During the Legacy Virus storyline, mutants were being killed by a disease that had no cure. When his sister Illyana died from it, Peter was devastated. Later, Beast created a cure, but there was a catch. To activate it, a mutant had to inject themselves and die. Without hesitation, Colossus chose to be that mutant. He calmly walked into the lab, took the cure, and collapsed. His body turned to steel one last time before it faded into nothing. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't loud, it was just pure heroism. His death saved countless lives and showed what true sacrifice looked like. Johnny Storm, also known as the Human Torch, was the fiery heart of the Fantastic Four. His ability to burst into flames and fly made him one of the most exciting heroes in Marvel Comics, but one of his most unforgettable moments came when he died in a truly heroic way. The Fantastic Four faced a huge threat. A portal to the Negative Zone had opened. The Negative Zone is a dangerous, alien dimension filled with terrifying creatures that keep flooding into Earth. The only way to stop the invasion was to close the portal, but it could only be sealed from the other side. Johnny knew what he had to do. He stayed behind to fight off the endless swarm of alien monsters while the rest of the team escaped. With a loud shout of his famous phrase, "Flame on," he burst into flames and battled an army alone. Despite his power, Johnny was overwhelmed by the numbers. The portal closed behind him, trapping him in the negative zone with no way out. Fans believed he had died, lost forever in the alien world. Though Johnny eventually returned, it's comics after all, this moment remains one of the most powerful examples of courage and sacrifice. He gave everything to protect his family and the world, proving that sometimes being a hero means making the ultimate sacrifice. Thunderbird was one of the first new X-Men introduced in the 1970s. He was strong, brave, and proud of his Native American heritage, but sadly, his time with the team was very short. Only 2 issues after his debut, Thunderbird died in a sudden and shocking way. During a mission to stop the villain Count Nefaria, Thunderbird acted on his own. When Nefaria escaped in a plane, Thunderbird jumped on top of it, trying to stop him by himself. The plane exploded high in the sky, and Thunderbird was killed instantly. His death surprised many fans because they barely had time to know him. Some believe the writers wanted to show that not every hero survives, making the story more real and serious. Others felt it was unfair to kill off one of the first Native American superheroes so quickly. Despite his short time in the comics, Thunderbird's death left a lasting impact on the X-Men and their stories. It showed the dangers the team faced and reminded readers that being a hero often means risking everything. In the Shadowland story, Daredevil, also known as Matt Murdock, takes control of a dangerous ninja group called the Hand. At first, Matt wants to use the Hand's power to fight crime and protect his city, Hell's Kitchen. But the Hand is full of dark magic and evil influence. Slowly, that darkness begins to change Matt. He builds a huge temple right in the middle of Hell's Kitchen. Instead of just fighting crime, he starts killing criminals. His actions become extreme and violent. The Avengers and other heroes try to stop him, but Matt is too far gone. He is no longer the hero they once knew. Eventually, Matt realizes what he has become. He understands that the dark forces controlling him have turned him into a monster. Filled with guilt and pain, he decides to take his own life. He hopes that by doing this, he can also destroy the demon inside him. This death doesn't happen in the main Marvel universe, but it is still very powerful. It shows how even the strongest heroes can fall when they let darkness take control. Matt Murdock started with the goal of justice and protecting his city. Instead, he got lost in the very darkness he was fighting against. His death reminds us that being a hero isn't just about power, it's about holding on to your soul and your values, no matter what. In the Civil War II storyline, Iron Man finds himself at odds with Captain Marvel over how to use a new Inhuman named Ulysses, who can see possible futures. Carol Danvers wants to act on those predictions before they happen, a prevent crime before it happens mindset. Tony Stark believes that's too dangerous and crosses a moral line. The conflict turns ugly. In the final battle, Iron Man confronts Captain Marvel one last time. Despite all his tech and armor, he's no match for her cosmic power. Carol hits him with a full-powered energy blast that leaves his body broken and his armor crushed. It's unclear at first whether he's dead, but later we learn Tony had uploaded his consciousness into an AI backup. His physical body, however, is comatose and barely alive. Tony Stark, the genius billionaire hero, ends up destroyed by the very future he was trying to stop. His death isn't just physical, it's the death of a philosophy, a failure of trust among heroes, and the painful cost of trying to do what's right in a world that keeps changing. If this left you shook, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment about the Marvel death that broke your heart the most. More comic breakdowns are coming. Don't miss out.